Uh-huh.
That's right.
Smash.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
In my money in a Ziploc bag.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Nothing like money.
Smash with the cash.
Uh-huh. That's
Nothing
right.
like money in a Ziploc bag, boy.
A
Uh-huh.
lot of NBA players is getting that money in the Ziploc bag right now. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Just a
Uh-huh.
shout out to
Yeah,
them. Shout out
yeah,
to every
definitely.
Celtic
Uh-huh.
player
That's
on
right.
the team.
The duffel bag boys over there, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
shout out to every one of them because they is definitely smashing with the cash. But yeah, man, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. It just feels good to be back in the studio. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to be back, Mark. I feel like you know what I'm saying. We missed out on a few things. Look, I'd be lying, Mark, if I told you that I really missed out on the part where we would have had to talk about the Celtics winning the championship. I'd be lying if I said I really missed that part. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
I
you know.
didn't care.
You know,
Listen,
that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real, Mark. Celtics won a championship. Mm, you know, my boy KG wasn't on that squad. My boy Ray Allen wasn't on that squad. I don't care.
yeah, man. But listen, we've been gone for a few weeks. I was in Myrtle Beach
That's right.
for Father's Day, and then last week just wasn't going to happen, guys. I was redoing my daughter's room, and then Sean got busy. He wasn't able to do it by himself, so it just wasn't going to happen. But yeah, what we're here now, and what a good time to be here because the NBA gave us something to actually talk about. There's things that are actually going down. Yeah, there we go. With that light down a
NBA
little
got shit
bit.
popping. The NBA got shit popping right now, man.
Yeah,
Um,
NBA trying to move like the NFL a little
yeah,
bit, get stay in the news and keep it.
yeah. The NFL, man, they moving like this is like this is the Premier League is what they're moving like. Mark, I'm looking at these numbers for these contracts, yo.
Hmm.
And it looks like some Super Bowl numbers. Okay, that's what they look like, Mark. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get up in Lionel Messi fucking payday territories and stuff out here. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
It, it's getting there for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, man, but that's pretty much what we're here to talk about right now is some of the moves that have been made around the NBA, whether or not we agree with them, or just whether or not we think that will lead to postseason success, or will it just lead to regular season success, or will it lead to no success whatsoever. But with that being said, there's no real reason to just wait around. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So, Sean, where you want to start, man?
Actually, I want to start with the Jokic and Westbrook topic. Actually,
Okay.
you know, I'm not gonna get you. I'm not gonna get you fired up right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get at least one topic in before we get to that stuff right there. That Paul George talk. So let's talk
All right.
about. Let's get you in a good mood. Let's get you talking about Westbrook, man.
Paul George don't affect me none, baby. You know that ain't my team.
Man, the Sixers organization and how they moved up.
Oh well, yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, but hey, that's why I washed my hands many years ago. I watched these
Saying.
calls of that team for some time now, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, so Jokic wants Westbrook to come to Denver. I mean, and there's nothing much more to that except for that fact. It is being reported that Nikola Jokic wants Westbrook to come to Denver. He is trying to recruit and pushing Denver to pick up Westbrook. And Sean, what do you think of that?
Um, Number one, it's just it's just a shocker in general. Um, Very rarely do you see one elite facilitator looking for another elite facilitator to play for their team. And, so it's just a shocker in that regards. And we've never really heard of Jokic like trying to recruit anybody. We just assumed that he didn't care enough about basketball for him to be trying to recruit people. And go figure, lo and behold, you know, from one facilitator to another, he respects Westbrook's game, and he's making it known that he wants Westbrook on the team. So it's just shocking, because if you would have told me, there's a bunch of names that you could have named, Mark, that wouldn't have surprised me. But Jokic, because it's Jokic, that's what surprised me. Like I said, I didn't think he cared enough about basketball. Mark, like, did you think he cared that much about basketball?
I thought anybody that plays at a championship level has to care.
Yes.
Yes. And so he does. So clearly he cares.
The man looks like he's in pain every time they win a playoff series, because he knows he has to play more basketball.
But hey, maybe that's why he's like, Doug, there's way too much focus on me, and I would like. He's like, and maybe he just doesn't want to have to use his brain that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to score, I have to facilitate. Like, I don't want to have to do all that. Like, I want somebody that can do what I do, and can get me the ball.
But I'm gonna be honest, Mark. It might have a lot to do with this Timberwolves series that he had to endure. Dog, he looked dog tired. Okay,
he was getting beat up.
That man had Karl Anthony Towns playing the best defense he has ever played in his entire life. I mean, he had Jokic working for everything, man. Them boys had Jokic burnt out, physically exhausted. And I think, I'm with you, I think that has something to do with it. He's like, dog, I gotta do too much, man. I gotta do too much, and I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? He did not like the way he felt after that T-Wolves series, and I think that might have something to do with it.
Well, who's the current point guard on the team?
I don't
know. Who is the current? Like, I don't know who the current.
That might even be funny. Let me get. I'm gonna look it up though, because I'm just not.
Hey, what up, Jay? How you doing? What's going on?
I know Jay knows, so he might as well just speak up.
It is Jamal. Jamal is the current. I thought he was the shooting guard. I thought he was the two, but if he's the,
he is the point guard. Okay,
if he's the one, so Jamal Murray, definitely. So that makes even more sense. Like, Jamal Murray don't need to be the one; he needs to be the two.
He does need to be the two. That does make sense. But this is all due to them losing, what's his name, after the championship season.
Who?
Was it Brown? I'm trying to remember his name. Bruce Brown. Yeah. It's all due in part to them losing Bruce Brown after the championship win. So KCP too. See, all these guys were supposed to be there. But point is, Jamal.
Yeah, they definitely lost, and that was another thing. Them losing KCP, like, now that he's not there, it creates room for the acquisition of Westbrook. So
man, definitely a situation to where I don't want to see Jamal Murray playing point guard, and he shouldn't be. So it does seem as though it can make sense on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It can make sense as far as pieces fitting together. Real quick, what I think it would immediately add to the Denver Nuggets, as far as enhancements, is the Nuggets, as well as they play half-court basketball with Jokic kind of, seeing the floor from the free throw line, you know what I'm saying? Denver is a really good fast break team already, Mark. And if you're a fast break team already, that's that good at fast breaks, and you add Russell Westbrook into the mix, that elevates you to being cream of the crop. I think it makes them either the best fast break team in the league or a top three minimum. You know what I'm saying? So I like watching Denver play fast break basketball. And the one thing that is common with them is they take a lot of fast break threes, Mark. You know, they go on a fast break. You'll see Aaron Gordon out on the three.
What up?
Aaron Gordon will be out at 3-point line for some fucking reason. You'll see there's a couple of cats that they got out there that'll be out there at the 3-point line. But they shoot a lot of fast break threes. That immediately becomes a problem when you have somebody like Russell Westbrook barreling down the court and you got 3-point shooters posted up in the corners. That is an immediate enhancement to their offense if you have Russ running the fast break on a team that already does the fast break well. So that's number one. Number two, it gives you a little bit more pedigree on that team. Not as though they need a bunch of it, but it does add to the pedigree. He is a team first player. He is going to enhance what they already have in that locker room. Right now, I do not feel like that team has a vocal leader, if you understand what I'm saying. And Russ immediately comes into that locker room and becomes that guy. He becomes the guy that is rallying the troops. He becomes the person that speaks for everybody. So they get a couple of immediate enhancements when Russ is on that team.
This is a great point by Jay. It's an arms race in the West right now, and the good teams are improving while Denver is subtracting. So he's trying to get something on deck. Okay. With that, I think that part, but I also feel as though, with that being said, I think that the KCP thing, them allowing KCP to walk and not doing anything about it, this could be because Jokic was like, hey, I want this particular person, and so let's go after him. And the team felt comfortable with letting KCP go in hopes of recruiting the player that Jokic wanted.
Well, I'm gonna be really honest right here, man. The transition from that Denver team that played in that won that championship to now, it's a crazy one. Mark, obviously you guys are talking about losing guards. Forget about just losing guards. They're losing defensive players every year, and every year that they lose, every time they lose a defensive player, they're not replacing them defensively, right? Right now, it seems as though they are transitioning into a more offensive-minded team. That's something that I particularly don't like. But guess what? If I don't have the guys to replace you on defense, you're damn right. We got to add something to this team, Mark. And I like the idea of if you can't replace these defensive players, then do something to enhance the offense that you have. Because let's be honest, there was a whole lot of dead spots in that T-Wolves series. There was a whole lot of times where I saw Jamal Murray, somebody that shouldn't be bringing the ball up the court, getting trapped in the corner as soon as he crosses half court mark. I saw a lot of that. He shouldn't be in that role. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's not going to happen if you have a guy like Russ on the team.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you were saying about teams switching to a more offensive pace versus a defensive pace. But even with that, Westbrook does give you that defensive tenacity. Like, it may not be the best defensive player, but he definitely does give you.
Oh, he brings that energy.
Yeah, that willingness to play defense.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he's somebody that I trust in crunch time defensively. Like, he is willing to go out there and lay it all on the line defensively in the last 4 minutes of the game, which is something that, you know, it can rally the troops. It can help you. We watched him do it in the playoffs when he first went to the Clippers. It's just, I like what Russ. Now, you can't expect Russ to play at a high level defensively for an entire game, but the fact that he's capable of doing it in spots is a big plus.
Yeah.
Um,
Now Jay is hitting on a lot of things all at once, and we will definitely get to the topic of the Celtics because
here come Rob.
They had a window.
Hey, Rob
a
been waiting
couple-
weeks.
should have kept the squad together. Look what Boston did. They locked everybody back up. So running back.
The Boston Celtics is going to be a big topic for us tonight, just so you guys know. We got a lot to break down with their financial situation. But yeah. Yeah, you did miss the money in the Ziploc bag, dog. You missed it, man. Joker the Bells bondsman, man.
Yeah, that's how we open the show tonight. We open with some Joker the Bells bondsman, a Busy Bone classic.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, recorded in somebody's basement, you know what I'm saying? With non-professional equipment. It just adds to the aura of the track, you know what I'm saying, Mark?
Yeah.
That's the way if I heard a cleaned up audio version of that track, I'd be like, what is this? Who messed with this song?
I like it the way it was.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this ain't that's too high quality for BET Uncut. Nah, man, I need the BET Uncut version. You know?
Definitely. But listen, but you were saying that like they're moving to a more offensive focus, and that just made me think of the Knicks, and you don't have the Knicks here on the ticker, but it made me think of the Knicks and the fact that the Knicks did acquire Mikal Bridges, and that is a team that decided that they're not necessarily going to go in a more offensive direction, but go into a more like holistic direction with the Mikal Bridges ad. And they're defensively, the Knicks is going to be a problem next year.
Yeah. So, well, you know what, Mark? I'll be honest with you. Since we're talking about the direction of in which these teams are moving, maybe I do want to talk about the Boston Celtics stuff right now, so we can get to that. So we can talk about the Celtics. We can talk about the teams that are posturing themselves to try to make runs, right? The biggest thing, and I'm not. We'll talk about the contracts, but the biggest thing is everybody knows. Let me just go ahead and bring it up. Everybody knows that Tatum just signed, right?
So we're talking about the Knicks right now, though. Why you switch?
Well, I'm only bringing that up to say this. We can get back to the Knicks, right? The Boston Celtics right now, they do have everybody sold up, like Jay just said. The Boston Celtics, everybody knows that they're paying way too much money for everybody. Right now, currently, with the Boston Celtics lineup, they are capable of keeping this crew together for 2 to 3 more years without having to suffer severe enough penalties to back them off of their roster. That's what I wanted to bring up about the Boston Celtics right now. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, Mark, right now is because we are talking about the Knicks. In the Knicks, you talked about the making moves offensively, and you're talking about the Knicks moving more so towards a defensive or a two-way player movement going on over there. Mm-hmm. In general, though, it seems to be that team chemistry is a very high priority for the Knicks right now.
Definitely.
They slowly just continually added these Villanova players, Mark, and we have the full conglomerate essentially at this point, right? You have the
only thing they need to do is fire their coach and hire what's his name? God damn.
Oh yeah, that's great. Just bring everybody in here, right? So it's just interesting to me the different strategies that these teams are trying to take on. It seems as though I don't know about you, Mark. I don't feel like I've seen an era in a while in the NBA where I feel like there's like 8 teams that are trying to make moves to win a championship all at the same time. And I feel like, and this is the only time I've seen it to where I feel like teams are making smart moves. The Knicks going for team chemistry, trying to make defense a priority. I like that move. The Boston Celtics saying we're going to keep our core together no matter the cost. I like that move. Jokic in the Denver Nuggets. Jokic saying, "Look, man, I know I just won a championship 2 years ago, and I know that we were favored. We were still a championship caliber team this year, but we trying to go get Westbrook, man. I like the moves that these teams are doing, and it feels like there's I think everybody realizes, Mark, that you've had a different champion. It's something that people keep bringing up. The last 6 years, they're all different champions. Everybody feels like it's there for the dynasty title is there for the taking. Everybody wants their second chip, or they want their first one and continue to make continue to win chips here. So, what strategy do you respect?
Hey man, don't ask me nothing unless it's about the Knicks. What you're doing right now is some wild Knicks hate. This is some wild Knicks hate. I don't know why you're trying to get me to not talk about the Knicks move and we're talking about every other team, but we're talking about the Knicks.
Mark, fine, you fine. I won't hate on the Knicks. This is weird. Mark just sticking up for the Knicks. Go ahead, speak about the Knicks.
Now listen, straight up. Here's the thing, man. It's been, like the Knicks are doing. They're doing an incredible job. I'm looking at Rob's comment, and he says Knicks are going all out, and they still not going to get out the second round. Now, here's the thing. I see that, and I'm like, I don't see how you feel that way. I don't see how you feel that way when you have all the pieces that they have now. You have the Villanova boys. You have OG. You have dang.
You gonna say Julius Randle?
Yes.
You gonna say DiVincenzo?
I was going to say
you already said Villanova boys. Yeah. So Julius Randle, OG, and the Villanova.
Yeah, Julius Randle and the Villanova boys.
Okay.
So now, defensively, you sold up. Offensively, with Julius Randle back, you're going to have high scoring Jalen Brunson, high scoring. You're going to have Mikal Bridges as a third option. And then you had an OG and Mikal on the perimeter. It's going to be hard for teams to score, and that's going to be their biggest thing, in my opinion, is that defensively you're going to see some lower scores. Now, Celtics are the Celtics. Celtics are definitely a cut above, but I definitely think that this move possibly moves them into number 2 because. Let's face it, Milwaukee still has not gotten themselves together. Like, Milwaukee has yet to figure out how to make that work in between each other. And I'm looking at a Rob comment.
I'm taking Chris's bet, Mark. I'm going to let you. We don't even got to talk about it. I'm taking Chris's bet. But continue.
They won't be in the top 5.
I'm taking Chris's bet, Mark. This is easy money, boy. You better get on the gravy train, bro. Like, this is easy money, Mark.
I will definitely take that bet.
It's easy money.
Now, here's the thing. I don't like the Knicks, but Rob is hating as well. You and Rob can go hop on the hate train together. He says if Embiid stays healthy and PG and Maxey can coexist, Philly is more of a threat than NY.
You already started off with too many ifs.
Yes, you started off wrong. You started off wrong by saying if Embiid stays healthy. Embiid has never been healthy. Never. And by the way, can you name a time when PG didn't go into the playoffs hurt?
Hey, look, real quick. I want to address this because he's saying that OG and Julius Randle have health issues. That might be true, but guess what? They are not the main players for their roster at this time. Okay, that's what I see. They are not the number ones on their team. They're barely the number 2s. Let's be honest. Okay, so you're talking about a team. And I want to get back to the Philly thing. You're talking about a team that never prepares for when Embiid gets hurt, okay? Because PG is not the answer for when Embiid gets hurt. You've never seen PG take over a team. Let me put it this way. Let me change that. You ain't seen PG take over a team since he was battling with LeBron, okay? You ain't seen it, okay? You have not seen it, all right? So that's not the answer. The Knicks, what the Knicks did in this offseason is the answer to when Julius Randle gets hurt, okay?
Right.
This ensures that they still have somebody that can carry the weight or the load that Julius Randle carries during the season. They have somebody that can carry that load if Julius Randle gets hurt. That's why they have Mikal Bridges there. Like, I don't understand what you don't understand about that. They have whatever ifs that might happen to the New York Knicks, they got a game plan for that. There is no strategy, there is no roster moves that the Sixers have made that says, okay, we're ready for this, okay? And let's be honest, you talk about the defensive pieces that the Knicks have now, collectively, they have a defensive-minded head coach as well. Tibbs is going to make them play defense, okay? You can't even get on the court unless you play defense, okay? I'm with Mark. That is going to be a formidable defense when you're talking about some of the best defenses in the NBA. To me, this move does get them out of the second round. To me, this move makes me feel more confident in what the Knicks can do in the playoffs versus what the Bucks can do. So, yeah, saying they're not going to be top 5 is crazy, Chris. You know, but this is the type of commentary I expect. This is why you're not on the panel. But that's why you're not on the panel, Chris. You know what I'm saying? You be leading with this. You know what I'm saying? You be leading with that. You know.
Now listen, because I got a lot of Knicks hate, and I will talk about that Knicks hate all day. But when they make a move that scares me, and be like, oh, they actually for real, I'm gonna be like, hey, they made some real moves. Now, Rob, you can feel the way you feel about it, but the fact that you said that you more so worried about the Magic than the Knicks.
So you're a Boston fan and you live in Florida. Rob, tell me you're not biased right now.
Now here's the thing. You can say this is fair. You said Tibbs also plays his players to the point that coming to playoff time, they break down. That's fair, except for in this particular case, now that they have the number of players that they have, the rotation should be a lot better. And Rob, we already talked about this. Who cares if you are in win now mode? What does 5 first-round picks mean to you? You think Michael Jordan is coming out in next year's draft? Is LeBron going to be in the next 2-year drafts? And then if you're making the playoffs, what's the chances of you drafting that person at 20, at 18?
Thank you. If we're in win now, none of that stuff matters. And let's be honest. Is there anybody that you're going to draft? I don't care how good the prospect is. Is there anybody that you're going to draft that's going to beat out Julius Randle for a spot? That's going to beat out Jalen Brunson? You know, Mikal Bridges. There's nobody that you're going to draft that's going to beat out these guys for a starting job, right? So when you're drafting in the first round, you're looking for starters or future starters. Right now, they got that sold up all the way. They don't have they got that sewn up all the way. They don't need anybody, okay? And if you want to say maybe you can find somebody better than, you know, Mitchell Robinson or something like that, but I mean, let's be honest. Big men do not show up. Like you get a decent class of big men like once every 20 years out of college, man. So let's just stop right there, right? So no, you don't need those first round picks, okay? You can let those go. You know, you have a core that is already great enough for you to compete at this level. And adding Mikal Bridges to that makes it so that you don't need those first round picks. So that's my answer to that. Maybe you can say that if they weren't adding Mikal Bridges, but they are.
Yeah, like if they were adding some like Mikal Bridges, I think you're underscoring how much Mikal Bridges and the team chemistry actually matters.
Yeah, you're a Boston fan. You should understand. You should understand what team chemistry can do for you. You've seen how discombobulated your team was last year. Y'all struggled against Miami and then got beat by them. You've seen it firsthand. And then you've seen the level of team chemistry that they had this year. You should understand what that means, okay? Getting a group of guys that are familiar with each other, that played throughout college with each other, And you've seen it just this past year, what they could do with that team chemistry. It's getting the best out of all of those players. You're getting the best from Brunson. You're getting the best from DiVincenzo. I like DiVincenzo. I never thought that DiVincenzo was going to play at this level. He's playing at this level because he's with his guys, okay? Now you're adding Mikal Bridges to the mix. You're adding a guy that's a two-way player, okay? This is not something that should be taken lightly. The same way that we didn't take it lightly when Drew Holiday got added to the Boston Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Drew Holiday as the third or fourth offensive option means something.
The Drew Holiday defense.
His defense means something, and he's not even. He doesn't have to carry the defensive load by himself. The same thing with Bridges. So yes, these guys are going to be up. He's going to be up. If you want defense from Bridges this game and you don't need his offense, you can do that. And vice versa. The versatility and the depth that the New York Knicks has is the answer to Tibbs playing them all these minutes. That's what you don't get. Like, yes, Tibbs playing them all the minutes is a problem. The answer is depth. Okay, and that's what they just added to the team. All right, let's move off. Let's move off of that. I seen his little James comment, but
we can move straight into the team that he thinks is so dope and is going to be so great. Paul George signs with the Sixers for a 4-year, $212 million deal. All right, now Sean thinks I'm going to lose it over this, but I won't, because this is par for the course. This is what the Sixers do. And if you are a Sixers fan, I feel sorry for you. Because you're going to get all excited. Oh, we got a big name star, a big-time scorer. Yeah, but he's aging. He has injury issues. Do any of these things sound familiar to you, Sixers fans? Because I feel like the Sixers are the definition of insanity. They do the same thing over and over and over again, but somehow expect different results. They go pick up James Harden, and they're like, yeah, this is going to be great. They pick up these aging guys, and they're like, I expect a different result than the result that I just got.
Okay, so this is not just aging guys with questionable heart, Mark.
Questionable heart, questionable physicals,
I'm gonna break it down for anybody that might think this is a good move for Philly. Okay, I got a few questions for you, and y'all can answer them. Y'all don't have to; they're rhetorical. Number one, do you think that Paul George adds more offensively to the Sixers than James Harden did? Because I can give you my answer. I think it's close. You look at James Harden. James Harden is going to have more offensive explosions than Paul George will. James Harden is he's way more of a facilitator than Paul George is. Paul George might be more consistent, but then all that evens out. Okay, you might even be able to make the argument that James Harden adds more offensively, right? Easy, right? Okay, then you look at it and you say, okay, if he's not adding more offensively than James Harden, then do you think that his defensive play will be the difference maker? And my question is, it's a difference maker if Embiid's on the court, but your problem is Embiid's not on the court in the playoffs. Okay? Paul George defensively is not going to get that. His defense is not going to be enough to win those games when Embiid is off the court.
But they did add Andre Drummond. But
I like
that as a backup. I love
the Andre Drummond pickup. But what I'm saying here is, Embiid, when he's on the court, he's a leader. Embiid, when he's on the court, he's an offensive juggernaut. Embiid, when he's on the court, he's the best defensive player on the court. What I'm saying is, when he's off that court, there's so many holes that you got to fill. Paul George doesn't fill any of those. He's not going to fill it offensively. He's not going to be able to do defensively or affect the game defensively the way that Embiid does. And then when it comes to leadership, because let's be honest, you can say, well, Drummond can take care of the paint defense. Paul George can take care of the perimeter defense. Paul George in the myriad of offensive players, Maxey, Kelly Oubre, all these guys, they can figure it out offensively. Cool. Who's leading that team, Mark? Who is going to be the leader on that team when you need somebody to say, hey, man, buckle down. We need to clutch up and win this game? It's not Paul George, man. You've seen it. We've seen it with James Harden already on the Sixers. You're just getting more of the same, man. This is a lateral move in my eyes. Obviously not from last season, but from the season before when you had James Harden.
Right.
Sixers, man. So, like, I hate to say it. Yeah, you guys can make it to the Eastern Conference Championship. Yeah, you can.
But it requires too many things to work out that
Too
haven't
many things
worked
to
out
be
yet.
perfect. Like, you need luck on your side for it to work out, Mark. Like, the Sixers need luck on their side for this move to work out. They need Embiid to be healthy. Embiid healthy, yes, great pickup. But you have to at some point start planning for life when Embiid gets hurt.
Yeah, life after Embiid definitely needs to be something that's discussed by this particular team, and I don't think they ever had that conversation. So, But anyway, I think the Sixers dropped the ball by not getting Mikal Bridges. I heard that they were possibly trying to acquire him, but I guess the price got too steep when the Knicks did what they did. And unlike the Knicks and Celtics, who are all in on winning right now, it seems like maybe the Sixers coveted those picks a little bit more.
Yeah, there's only one reason why they would covet those picks, Mark. It's Embiid's health. So it just goes back to, if you're concerned about his health, you should do something about it now.
Right.
Instead of just planning for the future. Like, yes, plan for the future. You have to. But you have to do something now if your team is in win now mode, championship mode. Because if you have somebody that's finishing top 3, top 2 in the MVP race every single season, now's the time, Mark.
Definitely. But here's a player that is not concerned about winning a championship any longer, and more so concerned about ushering the future. He believes in the children are the future. Chris Paul. Sexual chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. Sexual
That's funny. Hey, that man got his vegan diet straight, man. He said, I'm playing till I'm 45. You know what I'm saying? Look, Chris Paul said he's ready to go, man. Ready to run it back every single year.
Chris Paul has signed with the Spurs. He's very long in the tooth, doesn't have a lot of years left, and the Spurs are not in any sort of win now mode. But what this move will do is it will allow his stats to run up, because his assist numbers next year will be crazy with Wemby out there.
Yeah, he not. Let's be honest. Nobody's in a race to catch John Stockton, but yes, second all time is where, you know what I'm saying, Chris is trying to make that gap. You know what I'm saying? It is
a little bit smaller.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, he's gonna have to try to close the gap. But either way, but I like what you're saying, man. Ushering in the new era. Chris Paul right now, a little long in the tooth, like you said. This reminds me wholeheartedly of the Jason Kidd Dallas Mavericks era. What you had at that time was Jason Kidd was not good enough to continue carrying teams to championship biz. Like, it wasn't that he was a bad player. He just wasn't Jason Kidd anymore. Okay? So, but at the same time, you place somebody like that with their basketball IQ, their skill sets, their ability to facilitate, see the floor, and make players around them better. You put somebody like that in the right situation, and then you get a championship. Okay, Spurs get a championship? Absolutely not, man. Not happening. But this is going to be a very integral part of the development of Wemby. Okay,
very much so.
And I'm going to tell you right now, they would have made the playoffs last year if they had an actual point guard. Okay, they would have made the playoffs last year with an actual point guard on the team. If you thought Wemby's numbers were crazy his rookie season, just wait until this season starts and he has an actual point guard directing traffic and getting Wemby easy buckets. Okay, this is going to be an insane situation to where I am ready to watch and see exactly how these games turn out, Mark. I don't know. I'm watching Spurs games next year. I don't know about you.
And here's another thing: Chris Paul has high basketball IQ, so that's another thing that he will be able to impart upon Wemby is seeing the floor a little bit better, seeing and recognizing, and when they're sitting in film room, recognizing what's going on a little bit more. Those type of things will help a lot in Wemby's development. And it's going to be huge to see. So looking forward to that heavily. But somebody, what I'm looking forward to more is somebody opening the books for these Celtics. Because like Sean said, Tatum signed a 5-year, $314 million deal.
I like Rob's comment. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I hope he doesn't. But I'll tell you this: if he does teach him how to be a dirty player, it'll be a long, hard spit to get to his face.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you right now. You can't hide, Wemby. If you do something dirty, they're going to be on it, bro.
They're going to see it. Hey, man, I'm just saying, a Rajon Rondo type might have to.
They got to do some extra shit, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, because they ain't gonna be able to just spit in your face. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to hawk.
Stop it! Stop it right there, sir. Before you cross any more lines, we're gonna stop you right there. Okay. Hey, look. But yes, back to what we were talking about.
Man, he's really tall. Got to traject to get up there.
Look, let's talk about this Tatum shit, man. So Tatum signs a 5-year, $314 million extension. This is his final year of his contract. That extension does not kick in until the 2025-2026 season. Real quick, the question here we have posted is it worth it for the Celtics organization? And like I said, I am going to break down how this affects them with the new luxury tax rules, just to give you an understanding of what's happening here. As of right now, this year, they will not be in that second apron tier when it comes to the luxury tax. They'll just be in the first tier. And what that means is all it does is make it so that their picks 7 years from this season, their first round pick will not be tradable. It's a small excuse me, my bad. No, they have to pay a luxury tax, the extra money the owner has to pay for them being over the limit this season, right? This season coming up. The season after, when his extension kicks in, 7 years after that season, their pick 7 years from then to the first round is not going to be tradable. That will continue if they stay in that same zone for the second year. So 7 years from that second year, that first round pick will also be non-tradable. Once they go into a third year mark after that, then the penalty becomes their first round pick 7 years from that will now be pushed to the back of the draft, meaning whatever position it might be, they could be the worst team in the league at that point. Their first round pick will still be pick 32. Okay, so that's where the luxury tax, that first apron, second apron, that's the difference. The old luxury tax rules, they could go over the they could go over the cap limit, and it was just a percentage of however much over the cap that they would have to pay. Now with the new rules, that second apron affects the draft picks, the future draft picks. So essentially, Mark, they will have to go 3 seasons into Jason Tatum's contract for them to really feel the effects of them saying we're going to pay everybody everything. So with that knowledge, then, people watching, Mark, do you think that this is worth it for the Celtics organization?
Sure. It's worth it because Celtics fan base isn't going nowhere. It's not like, so let's say this results in one more championship, or let's say it doesn't result in a championship at all with this unit. They already won one. And so with this one, they may, like, let's say they go to the conference finals or something like that. That's fine, because in the future, when it comes time to pay the piper on this, and like their picks is still pick 32 and low, let's say like in the future they have like a 5-year run of being bad, or
because right now we're talking 2034 essentially, would be that first year their pick gets pushed back. That's a long time,
right? So let's say at that point their picks are bad. I mean, at this rate, the U.S. might not even be a country in 2050. So like,
that's funny. I like that.
So I mean, like, so that's one thing. But Boston is a historic franchise. Like that fan base is that fan base. It could be 2050, and they're still going to have that same strong core fan base. So it's not like you're going to lose fans for going on a 6-7 year run of being mediocre or being bad. Like, you're just like, it's going to be there, so the fans can endure, you can endure for this run right here where you already won a championship. And let's face it, the East right now does not look like anybody's competing on your level.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's the biggest reason for me. That last point you made, that's the biggest reason for me why I say that this is worth it, because there's nobody that's really on their level right now, man. There's nobody that's really in the East. Everybody else has kind of fell off, or they just haven't made the strides that they needed to. Right now they don't have any competition in the East. So therefore, right now, if they seize the moment, they can be the next NBA dynasty. And that's what I feel like we're witnessing right now, is teams need to improve, while the Celtics are so far ahead of everybody that they just need to maintain. And if they decide, hey, we're maintaining for the next 5 years, what can you do? Like their goal isn't to just win another championship, is what it says to me. It says that they want to be a dynasty again. So this is a move that is going to allow them to potentially be a dynasty in an era where we just acknowledged that we've had a different champion over the last 5 or 6 NBA seasons. So they're saying we're trying to change that trend. We want to be back to back. We want to win 2 out of 3. We want to win 3 out of 4. That's what the Celtics are trying to do. And so this move, Mark, if you're telling me the pro is you can become a current era NBA dynasty, and you're telling me the con is you'll lose some picks 7 years from now. Absolutely worth it. I don't care how. Look, let's be honest, Mark. The Lakers are allowed to be the Lakers because of the previous dynasties that they've had. they're allowed to be trash. They're allowed to have as many losing seasons as they want to because of their dynasty eras. Okay, once you have those, the Spurs are trash right now. Nobody cares. They had a dynasty at one point, or what you could consider a dynasty at some point. They had that long stretch. They can have as much down years as they possibly want right now. And now, as soon as Wemby showed up, everybody's like, okay, we want to see what the Spurs are going to do. That buys you that time, man. If the plus is a dynasty, in the worst thing that can happen to you is you're missing a few picks or you get a couple of bad picks later on. This is a no-brainer to me, Mark. This is an absolutely great deal for the Boston Celtics organization, man.
Yeah. I brought this comment here just to make a correction. It says what's crazy is Philly and the Lakers could have had both Brown and Tatum. Incorrect. They could not have had Tatum, particularly Philly. Now the Lakers could have, but Philly never had a shot at Tatum. Philly got fleeced. Philly got fleeced. The Celtics were never ever going to draft Markelle Fultz. That was never going to happen.
You're right.
Jason Tatum was their guy.
I thought it was weird that Markelle Fultz was in the conversation with those guys leading up to the draft. Maybe I'm the only person, but I thought it was weird.
I mean, honestly, like they were. Like Lakers were definitely full on with ball, but excuse me, the Celtics were always going to draft Tatum, and all they did was sell the Sixers on, hey, if you don't take this pick from us, we're going to get Fultz, and the Sixers was like, well, we'll take the pick from you and let us get our guy. No, you idiot! I was always going to get Tatum, and now I got a pick from you. Now we just swapped, and I got some things from you, and I was always going to get Tatum anyway. And now you moved up for nothing.
Hey, that reminds me of the Bears-Niners deal, where the Bears, for some reason, thought that we were going to draft Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
we convinced them that we were going to draft Mitch Trubisky, and was like, "Joke's on you! We were never going to draft him. we were always going to go after Javon Kinlaw." So it's the same exact principle. You're right. They got fleeced, man. They got swindled into believing that there was a chance that Boston would take Markelle Fultz.
Now Jaylen Brown, Sixers definitely missed on that, but it is what it is. And you could definitely say that the Lakers missed on both, because the Lakers had the ability to draft both, especially after the Sixers and swapped. But it is what it is. You know, the Lakers they are more so about the celebrity and the splash than they are about winning games. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I see Jerry came in. He popped in. He said, "Good move, Klay." Klay Thompson signed with the Mavericks.
Yes, he did. And I was going to talk about that next.
Well, I mean, if you're done with the previous topic, we can jump on that right now.
Well,
yeah,
can I start? Because
you start.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Because I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
People are excited for this. Why?
That was going to be my point, Mark. I don't like this move at all. I don't know why they would be excited about this, man. Let's be honest, man. If your name is not Kyrie Irving, you're not touching the ball. You're not touching the ball in that offense with what's his name there?
With Kyrie and Luka there?
And Luka, that's what I'm saying. Crybaby Luka. Luka don't share the ball. This is the first time I've ever seen him share the ball. He shared the ball with Kyrie, right? People complained about how Tim Hardaway didn't get the ball enough or don't get the ball enough. People complained about Brunson and all these other guys, young guys that they had out there that just never got their shot and they didn't understand. Fucking Porzingis didn't get the ball enough. All these things, man. What do you think is going to happen to Clay? He ain't getting the ball, man. Like, he doesn't add anything to that team, even if he does get the ball. Mark, I think Clay is pretty much done here.
Thank you. That's my point right there.
Like, he's pretty much done here, Mark. Like, unless he's coming off the bench, getting 10 minutes a game. Like, here's a better example. Unless he's Del Curry, you know what I'm saying? Unless he's Steve Kerr, he's not contributing anything to your team. Meaning he comes in, he plays 8 minutes, he knocks down some late game. That's it.
But let's stay there for a second. This is a man that in his last game played went 0 for 10. In his last game played, he went 0 for 10. This is a man who, previous games before that, went 1 for 12. You know, he's had atrocious stats throughout the season. And it wasn't because of any unknown injury. Like, he didn't get any off-season surgery that I don't know about, right? Like, he didn't, like, there wasn't no major injury during the season that was holding him back, right? Now, Klay Thompson, he was a great player. He is, like, you know, phenomenal player, a part of a major part of a dynasty. With that being said, it's over. I brought up this comment from Tales of Sports simply for the fact that this is the only thing that makes sense to me as to why he chose to play another year in the NBA outside of pride. Pride is telling him, I can be better than what I was last year. I need to go prove it. But But I think inside he knows he can't be better than he was last year.
I agree with you there, Mark. I think deep down he knows. He don't want to act on it, what he knows, because he's holding out hope, but he knows, Mark. Right? And real quick.
Like I said, the money is the only reason that makes sense. Going to Dallas, there's no taxes, and you can recoup tax money that you lost elsewhere.
Well, there's two things. There's the money reasons, and then they were contenders this year. But them being contenders this year does not make me believe that they'll be contenders next year, Mark. I think
especially if you're on the team, because you're shooting 0 for 10.
Look, they lucked up into being contenders this year. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. I'm not discounting the regular season. I'm saying postseason wise, they didn't really have to fight with nobody, man. And I'm gonna stand on that. They didn't have to fight anybody. I think even though the Lakers got exited first round, I think if the Lakers played Dallas, they fight with them. I'm just saying Dallas did not, at any point, feel like the best team in the West. If you think that the Dallas Mavericks are going back to the championship, you're sadly mistaken. I don't think that's happening, right? So real quick. I mean, deep down, Mark, he has to know that the Mavericks ain't making it to the championship, right? This has to be all money, right? But it gives them the proper amount of an illusion of a chance, right? So, but either way, I want to get to some of these comments because some of these comments are wild, Mark. Rob, I really want to understand you sometimes, man. I know you know basketball. I know you know sports. That's why the Lakers ain't winning anytime soon, because Klay decided not to go there. I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to move on from that because Klay does not have anything to add to any team, let alone the Lakers, especially the Lakers, right?
Now, I want to comment on something that people, who said it? It was somewhere on here, it said LeBron go to the Spurs. And
that was Jerry.
I know it's just a bunch of funny talk, but I only laugh because it would be hilarious if this man got the team to draft his son and then gave him the deuces. That would be the most hilarious thing. He secured his son the bag. I would be like, all the respect. Like, all right, now I'm out.
Okay. He's talking about them wanting the celebrities, the big names. No, you're absolutely right with that. No, I agree with you there, Rob. Them chasing names and celebrity in style of play versus actual winning, and they prioritize all the other nonsense. That is exactly why the Lakers don't be winning. You're right. Real quick, there's another comment that I saw. I know me and Rob talked before offline. Mark, you know about that. He mentioned he thought the Pacers would be a good fit. He didn't want him to go to Orlando to mess up what they had going on there with the young squad that they had. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know why he fit with the Pacers? Because he would have a minimal role of just being a spot up 3-point shooter. And right now, I agree with Mark. I don't know if he can be a spot up 3-point shooter.
I don't know what he can do. As of right now, I don't know what he's able to do.
Thank you. I don't know if he's even capable of doing that after what I saw this past season. All right, in this past postseason, I don't know what he's capable of. I don't think he's capable of I personally don't think he's capable of contributing in any meaningful way to any NBA team right now. I felt that way 2 seasons ago, Mark.
Now,
so I don't know why anybody thinks it would get any better than this.
Jay says Clay will play the Ray Allen.
No, he won't. That's disrespectful to Ray Allen.
Now, that is definitely disrespectful to Ray, because has Ray ever gone long stretches of being 20% from the field?
You've never seen it. It's never happened before. It didn't happen to Ray Allen in college. It didn't happen to him in the NBA when he was scoring inside and outside. It didn't happen when he was relegated to being more of a perimeter player. It never happened his entire career.
Yeah, in any role, he has never went 20%.
Yeah, it's not. Disrespect to Ray Allen is crazy, bro. He's not playing the Ray Allen role.
I'm not saying it's not possible, or basically I'm not saying that that's not what they're looking for from him, because that very well may be what they're looking for from him.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
My problem with it is I truly do not know if he's capable. I do not believe that he's capable, because I have never seen a shooting slump last an entire season and then the person recover.
Well, let's be honest, man. And I'm going to give a couple of examples here. I'm going to give 2 examples. One basketball, one non-basketball. I'm going to start with the non-basketball reference. We saw that final year of Peyton Manning.
Right.
We ain't never seen him be that inaccurate before in his entire life. After doing that for an entire season, the entire world knew that Peyton Manning was done. He knew he was done. He said, I'm hanging it up. He won a championship that year. It didn't matter. He knew he was done. When you have somebody that has a certain level of accuracy and precision that just somehow doesn't happen for an entire season, okay, that's when you know they're done, okay? And for the basketball reference I'm going to give is Kobe after the Achilles tear. Kobe was never the same. Kobe already, I thought, was inaccurate, but it was because of his shot selection. Kobe after the Achilles, he was missing wide open shots. Kobe was missing good shots, okay? Kobe was done. Okay, we watched Kobe play for another 2 seasons after that. And let's be honest, those numbers were atrocious. He scored 60 in his final game, and the man put up 1,000,000 shots to do it. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Okay, we're looking at a shooter who no longer can shoot when that was his primary value that he brought to a team. You know, Clay hasn't been the defensive player that he was in quite some time now. He hasn't been an elite defensive player for about 5 or 6 seasons. Okay, so if all you offer is shooting and that's gone, then you're done here. Okay, so yes, he is Steve Kerr with the Spurs right now. That's what he is right now. And if you're expecting anything more than that, then you're in for a disappointing season.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's going to be. I don't know. I hope for the best for Clay. Honestly, I hope that he finds the fountain of youth. He gets a good massage. Maybe one of the. I mean, he's in the Texas area now, so maybe he can link up with some of the massage therapists from Watson's time.
Who would you rather him link up with? Would you rather him get some contacts from Deshaun Watson, or would you rather him get some contacts from James Harden? You know what I'm saying? Like, who should he be linking up with to source that type of stuff from? Like,
Hey, Texans Deshaun Watson was phenomenal. So let's go with Deshaun Watson's.
Okay, I can see where you're going there. Yeah. Whatever James Harden was doing was different. You know what I'm saying? Watch that man get double-digit turnovers in the playoffs and closeout games and stuff. Yeah, you're right. Go link up with, you know what? You don't even need to call Deshaun Watson. You know, I'm sure it's public record now. You go in there, you look at the...
You go into the district public records, look at all the plaintiffs, and there you go.
Exactly. You just get the plaintiff list, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, all you got to do is contact them through IG. You don't even need a phone number, right? So, like, I'm just saying though. But all seriousness, the Klay Thompson move to Dallas does nothing for me. It doesn't move the needle at all. So,
hey man, but no, in all seriousness, I hope that he finds the fountain of youth, man.
Yeah. What else we got here?
Let's see. Do we have anything else? I think we hit them all.
No, that actually was all of them. I still want to say some things about the NBA because I do want to bring this up. The Boston Celtics thing. I personally think what the Boston Celtics are doing right now is going to be the new blueprint, Mark. I think this will spell the end of the super team era, okay? Because right now, it's been proven super teams don't work. Not unless you had prime LeBron. Super teams don't work, okay? Right?
The Warriors with KD was a super team.
They won a championship before they put that together. That's like if you have a championship, like if you win a championship and then add somebody to that works. But you can't just take a collective of people that haven't played together, put them together, and win a championship. It's just, in general, the super team method does not work. Correct?
Okay. I mean, I will say that there is more evidence of it not working than it working. Because
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Because it did. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know if you could call it a super team, but the Dallas Mavericks worked. When you put Jason,
I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
But like I said, the Dallas Mavericks worked. The Celtics worked with KG and Ray Allen and
that did. So, you're right. There's more evidence to say it's not going to work because it's been attempted more times in the last 5 or 6 years than any other time in the NBA, and none of those teams have had that success. And well, let me change that. In today's NBA, it's not something that can work. The times that it's worked, it's been not really today's NBA. So it's just something that's not going to work with the current way the NBA is constructed. I feel like there's so much depth when it comes to talent on these NBA rosters. There's so much depth when it comes to starting lineup as far as exceptional talent that you cannot throw people together.
I think in general, teams need to stop building top heavy and build for depth.
Yes, there should be a balance to it, right? Now, this is what I'm saying. Right now, the Boston Celtics, I believe, are headed into dynasty territory. And what I mean by that is they're going to appear in the finals many times. They're probably going to, over the next 4 years, I believe they'll appear in the finals a minimum of 3 times. And I believe that they win 1 or 2 more championships. That would constitute a dynasty. And at that point, that's going to be the blueprint that says you can piecework whatever, patchwork whatever teams you want to patchwork together. We're going to beat you because of our chemistry. We're going to beat you because our core is exceptional and they stay together. And the reason why they're together is because we're spending all this extra money and we're eating the luxury tax. Okay, and I feel like keeping that young core together that's exceptional at all costs is going to be the new blueprint. So I do feel like there's a change coming in the NBA. So yes, this signifies the possibility of the Boston Celtics winning a back-to-back championship. But to me, I feel like this signifies a little bit more.
Also, the second three-peat was a super team.
You said the second three-peat?
Yeah.
You talk about the Lakers? Huh?
The Bulls.
The Bulls? Yeah, yes, but yes. Yeah, so that's why I had to restructure it and say in today's NBA. You put together a super team back in the Bulls era, and there just wasn't enough talent across the NBA. But that brings me to my next point. I don't know if you want to expound on this. I feel like we have enough NBA talent now to where an expansion will not hurt the NBA.
But okay, I mean,
I feel like an expansion will not hurt them. Let's be honest. How many teams could you honestly sit here and say, be like, yeah, they got 2 or 3 superstars? We ain't never seen this much talent in the starting lineups before.
Now, okay, I was just going to say where would a super team? But yeah, like Vegas. But where would the other team be? Because if you want, you have to add at least 2.
Seattle.
So you're going to bring back.
Yes, Seattle is a guaranteed hit. They are one of the best sports teams in America. I mean, sports cities in America. And the big thing about it is, let's say you bring a team to Seattle and you bring a team to Vegas. That's 2 teams that go to the West.
I was just about to bring up that point.
The Memphis Grizzlies are in the West. They can be moved to the East, and then that solves everything.
Huh?
The Memphis Grizzlies are currently in the West. They get moved to the East, and that balances everything out because there's no reason why they should be in the West. So, it would strengthen the East as far as as far as a powerful conference, a powerful team being on the So I think now is the time for expansion. So if I can figure that out, Mark, and it makes sense to me, I feel like the NBA has already figured it out, and I feel like the expansion is coming within the next 2 seasons.
That was an excellent point. All right, I like it.
Yeah. But my selfish reasons, Mark, I want to see it because I don't know about you. I'm tired of the way that the media covers the NBA. I'm tired of them being like, "Ooh, look, we got Westbrook, Paul George, and we got Kawhi with the Clippers. Let's focus everything on the Clippers. Oh, look, this team just got 3 superstars, and now let's just focus up." Like, I hate the way that it doesn't matter to them whether the team has a real chance of success or not. They just see stars on the team and they try to go with it, right? I feel like the star power will be it'll be more evened out. And it would actually allow some of these younger teams to stay young and build around them. You will see more OKCs. You will see more New York Knicks. You will see more Orlando Magic teams. You will see more Indiana Pacers teams because there won't be enough superstars in free agency for everybody to just be bidding to put 2 or 3 of them together. So, yeah. It would actually give a chance for the young guys to develop instead of getting their development stepped on by bringing in somebody like James Harden.
Yeah. I was told that we're wild for some of our comments tonight.
Wild? Okay.
But hey, man, it is what it is.
I don't know which ones they're talking about. Unless they're talking about your hot tour spitting and all that nonsense. That was wild, Mark. That was very wild to hear. Probably talking about you.
I doubt. Whatever. Hey, man. I'm just saying, the trajectory. Wemby is really tall. Can't fit in his face so easily.
LeBron comments are wild, but could come true. It's not happening. He don't want to be coached. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. He don't want to be coached, Mark. He ain't going to the Spurs.
He ain't going. That was a joke. Like that was
clearly, couldn't come true. Nah, he don't want to be coached.
Nah, man. For real, we appreciate you guys. That's all we got, right?
That is it, man. Yeah, that is it, man. Thank you guys for showing up, man. Started off a little slow. Y'all rolled in. Appreciate the support. Rob, you finally get your Boston Celtics talk. I hope you enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying?
Link, like, subscribe, share it to a friend. Share you can clip it out and share it, your favorite portion, to a friend. And, the parts that you missed, rewatch it. Hey, man. So, thank you. We appreciate you guys tapping in. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with y'all. Dang, John, he's so late. But you can go ahead and rewind. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Let me find out. John came in here defending LeBron like he'd be defending Tom Brady.
Yeah,
That's
you know
crazy.
what I mean?
That's
Coming
crazy.
in all extra late.
I guess now that Tom Brady retired, he gotta move on to somebody else, But yeah, Jerry, I will not be getting a Jason Tatum jersey. That was a comment like 10 minutes ago, but I'm just gonna be clear on that. No.
But this is for real. To everybody out there, man, go ahead and rewind. Enjoy the smooth listenings of Joker the Bales Bondsman with a feature from Busy Bone, and then just rewatch the parts that you missed. You know what I mean? And then check us out next Tuesday, because we will be here. And with that being said, I wish everyone a happy and joyful 4th of July. I hope no one's house burns down from their barbecuing. And I hope, or nobody's missing a thumb, anything like that. Do not hold on to the firework when you're lighting it. Place it on the ground, light it, and walk away. All right, that's how.
Sad that we gotta break it down like this, but we got NFL players that are permanently missing fingers and stuff like that. But yeah, be safe, please. Have some sense about you.
All right, man. And with that being said, this is the most important thing I could tell you guys. So come here, bring it in, real close. It's only entertainment. They call this thing sports entertainment for a reason. So when you're placing your bets out there, always keep in mind what benefits these owners the most. And that's the place, and that's the bet you make every single time. All right? Peace.
Yeah.